Hi, and welcome to Paper Roots Scrapbooking. I'm Nadine, and today I'm playing along with Ginger over on Ginger's Corner and some of her friends in a series called All About That Base, where we start working with base pages. Okay, so for the month of November, I am playing along with a YouTube hop called All About That Base, where we are pulling base pages from our scrapbook rooms and trying to get some photos and journaling and titles on them and get them into our albums. So I was excited about this series because I have a whole box full. If you watched my other videos, you'll see that. And if you haven't, feel free to go back and check it out. I did show where I found all of my base pages hiding in a little box. And in my case, base pages come from a lot of different places. Some are from using up scraps to put on a page. Some are from the end of a collection. Some of them are from like a kit where I built the kit but I didn't have any photos to put on, that sort of thing. So here we are. This base page started out with this embossed cardstock, and it has like these dots on there. And then I used the last sheet from this paper pad, So Happy Together, and I cut it diagonally and put it in the two corners, and then I had these strips here, and then these are just some cardstock scraps. I don't think these are exactly the same size, so I might have to cut one of my photos down, and that's okay. But roughly 2 4x6 photos here. And then I took some of the stickers off of the sticker sheet. It looks like, do I have the sticker sheet here still somewhere? Yeah. But I don't think I'll use the other two on this layout. I'll save it for something else. So I used up all the tiny little things. This doesn't really go with this particular layout, in my opinion, because I went with more of the pinks than the red. There's a tiny bit of red in some of those houses, but not a lot. And then this camper doesn't really go with what I'm working with here. So I'll just save these for another layout. And, but I will, this is the end of my paper pad. So that will go with I used this up this month. So that's exciting. From my little trinket box from the same bin where I got all my base pages, that's just a bunch of like random things to use up. I pulled a few things. I pulled these arrows again, as well as a button that just happened to be floating around in there, and a brad that was floating around in there. And I thought that little brad would go nicely with this little mini tag. I did grab a question mark because there's a lot of differing stories regarding what I'm about to scrapbook, so I thought that might be useful. I found a tiny little clock in there. It must have fallen on the floor at some point and got tucked in there, but I can probably find a place for that. There's this little scrap of paper that I thought could go if I needed it for something, but I'm just gonna put it here for now. And then I grabbed 2 of these tags that I thought I could use as little bits of cluster bases for my embellishment spots here. So that is what I pulled out of that little box. And then I also have the enamel dots that are pretty random. There's a lot of purple on here. I don't have purple on my layout, but I do think that there's enough here that I can probably use up some more of these on here. And then I also grabbed these 2 photos are what I'm working with today. Just slide that to the side. They are a couple more photos from the Winchester Mystery House, and this is all about seances. Some people say she held seances in her blue room. Some people say that she used this tower room. Nevertheless, there's a lot of back and forth about whether she did them at all. So anyway, poor woman, hey? She must have been pretty haunted, or appeared that way. So then I did type up some journaling, and I grabbed a scrap of cardstock to back my journaling because I want to have it mounted on something, and I figured this blue was kind of close-ish, so it should do the trick. And then I pulled some alphas that I've always struggled to use, but they do have a lot of the colors from this collection. I think these came in a kit with something, and I just kept not using them because, well, because. because they're multicolored, and they have these floral bits in them, which I don't feel like matches with anything that I've used. So we'll see what I can do with that. Okay, so I was right. This one looks like it's a little bit smaller because, like I said, I was working with scraps here. So I'm just going to cut a 1/4 inch off of the side of that photo, and it should fit in there just fine. So the fun thing about working with base pages is having that already kind of started for you, right? So, and it's okay if everything's not perfect, perfectly matched up or perfectly linear or whatever. The idea is that I have these pages that are, you know, already started, and let's see if we can get some photos on some of them. So the goal is, or the challenge that Ginger put forth to us, is to use at least 20 of our base pages before the end of November. So that is my goal. We shall see. I think this is layout number 6 for me. And I picked my photos at 2 different times. The first time I had kind of forgotten about, but it was while I was picking my photos for 30 Days of Sketches, and I was working with all these 4x6 photos. So I'm almost through the layouts that I picked photos from that, and then I will move on to the next batch of layouts where I grabbed photos that I knew I already had, yeah, and printed them. So since my journaling's all typed up, let's do that next. I just printed it on a piece of white cardstock. This is just inexpensive white cardstock that I get from Staples in bulk. And I like to have it on hand to map photos, run it through my printer, that sort of thing. I usually keep the scraps and journal on those. So, but in this case, because my text box was so long, I wanted to just print it on a full sheet instead of trying to find the right size of scrap for that. I'm just going to cut this down a little bit. Okay. Let's see, what colors did I ink on here? I think I was using some sort of pink. I do have a variety of these little distress inks that I like to use for adding a little bit of color in some spots. And I think I can probably do that. But I think I'm going to want to do the blue one in an actual blue color. So I'll grab the cool tones as well. This is Picked Raspberry. Didn't want to come open. Usually it the lids pop right off or fall off even. Not that one. Just adding a little bit of color to the edge there. And then I want to mat this in a blue. So let's see, how big is this? This is 1 3/4 by about 7 3/4. So 1 3/4. So I want a 2-inch piece. And you know what I'll do is I'll put this right on there and then I'll trim it after it's on. That way I'm not guessing at where I want to trim it. I'll just be able to see. All right, tuck this back in my box of scraps. There we go. Do this one, Salty Ocean. Just go around those edges. There we go. And I think I'm just gonna tuck my journaling down here, a little to the left. How about I don't put it on upside down? Good idea. There we go. All right, now let's see about a title. Okay, so I did have enough letters for all of that. I don't love the title, but I think I'm just going to trace around it in white gel pen and make it stand out a little bit, and then I'll probably like it better. And then I think I'm just going to put a couple of these little embellishment spots on here. So I was thinking maybe because I have this blue down here that I might punch a shape or a circle. I have a circle punch right here. Let's do a circle. So that little scrap. And then maybe I can just, and see these are white glued down, so they're not coming back up. But maybe I can something like that. Well, maybe they will. There. Good enough. And maybe I'll make a little tab out of this one. Then I have that all the way around. And what else do I have? I have this. I don't think it's going to make it on here. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. And then we have this one. And then we have this little tag. And this question mark, which I really like. I kind of feel like this should go with my journaling. There's a lot of unanswered questions in there. Okay, and then we got this little brad that can go with my tag. I have a button. I feel like that can go on here somewhere. Has some of these sticker arrows that I didn't quite finish using yet, so maybe we'll put one in each corner. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna pause the camera. I'm gonna glue that stuff down. I'm gonna trace around my alphas, and then I'll pop back in and I'll get my date on here somewhere, and I think I might add a little bit of something. I just don't know what yet. Maybe some wood veneer. Okay, so hang on, I'll be right back. All right, so I tacked everything down that we talked about, and I added 2 little wood veneer houses, which turned out kind of cute. And then I just put the date up here. And then again, I'm just gonna go through here and see if I can't get a few enamel dots from this little packet onto this layout. So I'm thinking this turquoise color would be good. Okay, and then I want some up here as well. So I think I'm going to go with this random, it's got something stuck to the back of it. Get it off of there. Go. Okay, so I got some enamel dots sprinkled around there, and we are good to go. So I have used up that whole paper pad with this base page, which is awesome. Used up a few more of my little goodies from that little goodie pack, and I got another layout done for my albums, so yay! Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. And I hope you all have a great day. Bye for now.